Hey YouTube, this is the Art of Prepping. Thanks for joining me again. This particular little video is going to be talking about the basic 24 to 72 hour kits that we may want to put together for family, friends, or even neighbors. We had a video just recently talking about should you put together kits for other people, or should you store supplies, should you prep for others? And even though it depends on your ability to afford it and your storage capabilities and your desire to help others, if you did decide to do this, what would you store in the pack? Because that's one thing we left out was because the conversation was more should we or should we not prep for others? And if you said yes to that, then this is an example of what you could put in your pack, or maybe not put in your pack for your friend or family member or neighbor. So with that, we have when we do this, first of all, I want to say that when we do this, we also preserve our own preps. So it kind of keeps the little hands out of the cookie jar, if you will, and we get to preserve what we need. Now, in most of these scenarios, the person will most likely be bugging out from somewhere else and bugging into our location. And because this is only a 1 to 3 day event, it wouldn't probably do much hardship at all for them to be in our homes and even use some of our resources. But with that being said, though, it's nice to have a little pack already set aside so they don't feel like they're being a burden. You can just hand them the pack and they're self-sufficient for the most part. Of course, you can still invite them to dinner, and have dinner in the kitchen and stuff. We're not talking about that so much, but we are talking about if they want to go out and do things, maybe they have to get a new living arrangement. It could be that their house burnt down. So it's not like they're going to possibly just be sitting in your house for 1 to 3 days. It may be like a touch and go. They might just be coming over just for the night to sleep, and they just need things right then and there because of the emergency. It could be a domestic issue, or like I said, it could be a tornado, and they have no shelter. So in the meantime, while they're trying to get their shelter, options set up so they can kind of get back to living, they're going to be at your house. So what should you put in this pack? So I'm going to do a go and a no-go down this list. The first thing is a backpack. You could have a spare backpack that you're not using. That would be obviously the easiest and cheapest way. If not, the back-to-school sales, they usually have backpacks for kids. You can just get the cheapest, smallest little backpack. Between $5 and $10, usually on the big sales, is not a problem. So you just want to have something that you can put stuff in. It's not like a competition of what the most durable pack is. The next item would be shelter. This is totally optional, but it's not even necessary. They're going to be at your house. So, you don't really need anything. Maybe like a rain poncho if you're going to be nice or something, but I don't think so. I mean, it's up to you. That's totally optional. Tools, it's totally optional again. I mean, this is not a survival situation like they're out in the woods. They're going to probably be at your house, or they're going to be out in the community getting resources and setting up, maybe different fixes to overcome whatever challenges they're trying to deal with and whatever emergency that happened to them. So, maybe a basic multi-tool like a Victorinox, maybe like a $10 to $20 Victorinox that has basic features. It might be just a nice thing, but that's totally optional. Food. Now, obviously they're going to probably be coming in and out of their house. They may stay the whole day or two in the house, with you, but they might be immobile. And so just to help them and give them a boost, I would definitely put maybe a day or two at least of ready-to-eat different items. Different like food bars, protein bars, energy bars. Maybe if you wanted to, maybe a couple canned goods. But if you do that, maybe have the Pop Tops, and maybe a little bowl or maybe a couple spoons in there. If not, include a small little can opener. But I think you could just keep it simple and just use like more snack food just to get them through the day or two. And at night, you could have supper with them. And even if you want to go further, add maybe like $20 to $50 in there for spending money to help them, for transportation or maybe to eat out a few times as they're trying to solve their problems. Okay, so the next item would be water. I'd probably put just a few water bottles in there. Once again, they have the option and the resources usually around them to refill those bottles. And I wouldn't be too worried about, getting them a case of water or anything, but maybe, between 2 to 4 water bottles would be a good start. Clothing. They could have lost everything. It could have been a house fire or tornado. They may not have any clothing. So instead of having to run up to Walmart or to a Salvation Army or some kind of place to get some clothes, you could go with sweatpants. I mean, a lot of people say that, and just get like a large or extra large and they really stretch, depending on how big you are. You could be a big person or a small person, and you get those drawstrings, and you can really adjust, even though it's going to be very generic in clothing style. But like a mid-size, sweatpants could do the trick, and maybe like an oversized T-shirt. But this is just me personally, though. I would rather go ahead and get a mid-size with the very, very stretchy elastic, like a sports or athletic pants, and that they're made out of synthetics. So it's a little easier to clean. And the thing about the whole, sweatpants, if it gets wet, it's hard to dry. It's made out of cotton, and I don't like cotton. So I would just go with spandex pants. You can get those athletic style, and you can even get the dry fit shirts that are extra large, and they might be baggy on that person, but they have something to wear. And if they need some money for underwear or socks, you can just tell them, well, hey, in that pack, there's a little bit of money, and I'll take you to Walmart if you need it to, or wherever your store is in the area that sells clothes. So that's an option. Signaling, navigation, and communications. These are just optional. I wouldn't do any of those just for someone that's going to be, dealing with their own personal emergencies. I think that's not the point of this kind of bag. So I'm going to skip those. Personal protection gear, no, they don't need it. You don't need to put a weapon in there. If they have concealed carry or if they have an EDC, they would already have that on their person, most likely. First aid, you could probably put a boo-boo kit in there. That wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. But most likely you have Band-Aids in your first aid kit at home in the medicine cabinet. And so you could just, if they needed one, you can just give them a couple Band-Aids. So that's optional. Hygiene kit. This one you definitely probably would want to beef up on. Hand sanitizers, wet wipes, bars of soap, maybe at least one bar of soap, a large hand towel, a small towel, for just kind of washing your face and stuff, and maybe a full-size towel as well, for getting out of the shower. Maybe a little container of like shampoo, dental floss, a comb or a brush, toothbrush, and toothpaste. So that would be a really good idea. That would be really nice. Maybe even some deodorant, some just generic deodorant would work. What about a fire starter? I don't think so. What about cooking methods? No, I think this is not that kind of kit. And lastly, lights or some kind of illumination tool. I think so. I think maybe just a very small sub $5 little keychain light or handheld mini flashlight at Walmart. You can get them, all kinds of brands. Rayovac and Energizer actually has some okay little models. I've actually got some Rayovacs, very pleased with them. I've never been personally that interested in the Energizer brand, but the Rayovacs for usually like $1 or $2, there's actually quite a bit of selection, at least in the Walmarts in my area. So in quick recap, I would do the backpack, a little bit of food, some ready-to-eat foods, just a little bit of water, some clothing. I would definitely have maybe a basic boo-boo kit, first aid, a nice beefed-up hygiene kit, and a very small light so they can navigate at night around the house without waking you up and turning on lights. There's my overview for the basic 24 to 72 hour kit for a family member, friend, or neighbor that comes over unexpectedly because they have an SHTF situation that they have to sort out and they want you to help them. I hope this helps you, and as always, thanks for watching.